IVM.
It is said that in the startup world, there's a pioneer's curse, that the one who iterates succeeds more than the one who invents. In fact, many of the successful ideas of today are iterations of ideas that existed before them. Say Facebook to MySpace. But is that always true? Do we have people in the startup world who've succeeded because they've been ahead of the curve, who've actually built the market, who've always worked to their vision? Today's conversation will kind of answer this question for itself. But it will also answer other questions. For example, if you're looking to start up, what's a better space to start a business in? The space that an industry report says is going to boom in a big way, or the space that you are really passionate about? And what happens when your startup actually begins to take off and you get invested in? When you begin to get advice for pivoting? How do you hold yourself together through these times? Our guest today has made sense of all of these and more. In fact, he has made a big business both of two rather unrelated areas, gaming and health. Now we may ask, what does health have to do with gaming? Well, it seems a lot. In fact, his key hypothesis is that the issue with health isn't a lack of awareness or access, it's a lack of motivation. And if you can gamify health, you can have more and more people come into the net of being healthy. Welcome to Speakeasy with Dheeraj Sinha, and today I'm talking to Vishal Gondali. Vishal is the founder and CEO of Goki. Earlier, he founded a gaming company, India Games, which he sold to a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company. In 2021, Vishal got back to the world of gaming with a game 4G, which seemingly is an Indian answer to PUBGs of the world. Vishal is also an angel investor and a podcaster. Vishal and I want to talk about being an entrepreneur at such an early age. He sold his first game to Pepsi when he was all of 16. He got funded when no one understood VC funding in India. It's a loan that you don't have to return, is how he explained it to his parents. We are going to talk about his play in gaming and discuss how health in India is such a huge opportunity which he is capturing through Goki. Vishal, welcome to Speakeasy with Dheeraj Sinha. Vishal, good morning and welcome to my podcast, and thank you for doing it on a Saturday morning.
No, Dheeraj. Pleasure is mine, and Saturdays is much better because we are not having those back-to-back Zoom calls which we have been all used to, right? So Saturday actually works.
Yeah, it's a day to do a slightly deeper conversation than the half an hour slots that we typically get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Vishal, I'll get to the Goki and the entire health philosophy in a bit, because I'm absolutely fascinated with the conversations that you and I have been having and the larger purpose you're driving there. But I want to start at the beginning, in fact, and looking around what you've been up to. You've been on this entrepreneurial journey since 15, 16 years of age, right? And I was being foolish trying to get a graduation degree at SRCC at that point in time. And I was looking at your profile and I was kicking myself in the butt that what was I up to. But tell me, and also because Vishal, today is a startup boom, right? It's cool to be doing a startup, but you started long back and you started at the age of 15. You built a game and you sold it to a big company. Talk to me about what was going on in your mind. What were you up to?
So I think, in my case, first of all, I was having fun. I think that's really has been my, my philosophy. So in my life, I was lucky. My parents encouraged me to do what I wanted. My dad early on got me a computer that, normally he could have simply said that, no, it's too expensive or whatever. And I was pursuing sports. So I was not really into studies at any point of time. And my dad was a small businessman. So his point was, ki, haan, yaar, bachcha kabhi will join the family business at some point of time.
Yeah.
Which was, by the way, he was into manufacturing of steel and wires and, a very, very traditional business. It has got nothing to do with technology or any of that. So, the only thing in life was कि भैया किसी तरह college pass कर लो and then business में लग जाओ, right?
Yeah.
Typical how, so there was no real aspirations to study etc. खाली वही बोलते थे fail मत होना, मतलब at least, so 35 marks was the thing. So there was no pressure as far as studies at all, and I think I grew up seeing my dad. And, he was very, very, into his work, and, I learned a lot of the work ethic, etc. from him. And while I was having fun, I started programming computer games. And the point really was, how do you make money from it? Because I had to fund my hobby. And that's how I got my first customer, because I was like, मेरे को game तो बनाना आता है, पर इस game का पैसा कौन देगा? And I literally, Pepsi had an office, the Duke's factory in Cebu, very close to my house. And I literally went there with a computer. I had made a game. And I sat there for almost 5-6 hours to meet their marketing head. And, उसने बोला पता नहीं कौन आया है, पूरा computer लेके, because, there was no laptop, nothing. So I showed them that game of, Pepsi shooting Coke, and it kind of, there was a sparkle in their eye, and they immediately had a meeting of mine next time with Vibha. Vibha, I don't know if you know, Vibha was the...
Vibha Rishi.
Vibha Rishi was the marketing head of Pepsi, and she was like, man, I want to make this like a national campaign. And she literally, first of all, the HR people bought that game from me and installed that game on the computer of every Pepsi employee. And then they got this game from me, which was installed in movie theaters. And there was a campaign that go and shoot Coke cans. And so Adver Gaming was my first, which is why advertising is kind of close to me. So Adver Gaming was the word which we actually coined in a way. And that was really my first set of revenue stream, where the idea was that how will I pitch gaming to brands to kind of, engage their customers.
Yeah. And you cracked experiential long time back before it became the word in the business, right?
So you won't believe, there was actually a half-page article in Brand Equity talking about one innovation we did. And I'll tell you that innovation, you will laugh at it again. There was the movie Mummy launching, the Mummy Part 1.
Yes, yeah.
Mummy Part 1. And for that, the guys at Paramount Studios came to me and said, kya kar sakte? So we created this thing called the Screamometer. So Screamometer kya tha? It was a computer where you go and you have to scream, and it measures your decibel levels. And if you were able to scream above a particular level, you were getting a prize. And this was installed again in movie theaters, and it was the first time where the consumer was getting engaged with screaming in front of a screen. And this is pre-internet. I'm talking about an era where internet only came 1997. So I'm talking about pre-1997 time. I think Mummy and Mission Impossible, movie. So we did a lot of movie promotions also.
Amazing. So did that become the seed for India Games? How did India Games come about, and how do you think about using the Indian idea and Indian model? Was it by accident, or have you always been inclined to say, how do we put India on the map?
So actually, it was not in that way. Actually, what happened is the 1998 was the Kargil War. And the Kargil ke time pe we made a game called I Love India, where you could play the Indian soldier and shoot at all these terrorists, etc. And that game became a massive hit. We had lakhs of downloads in that time, mostly out of India, because India mein utne internet connections bhi nahi the. And that's what gave me the idea that there people will connect with Indian content. And interestingly, there was a guy there, and I will tell you who that person is now, and you will realize what a small world it is. He was at that time heading Times Classifieds. His name is M.K. Anand, who's now the CEO.
Yeah, of course.
So M.K. Anand, so I was this 18-year-old, and M.K. Anand ko maine a game dikhai, and he said, you should meet Vineet Jain and show him this. So I literally went to Delhi and I showed that game to Vineet Jain. And this is again, I'm talking of 1998, and Times of India actually featured that game on their website.
Yeah.
And that was the idea of, and in fact, the name India Games was suggested to me by M.K. Anand.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So that was what got us into India games. But the more funny story is not what happened there, right? What happened after
Yeah.
that is we got a lot of PR. And then I had this company call me, and मैंने तो कभी इनका नाम सुना भी नहीं था. They were called Price Waterhouse. तो मुझे पहले लगा कोई water supply company होगी, you know.
Yeah.
They said no, we are investment bankers. तो मैंने बोला नहीं यार हमको कोई लोन वोन नहीं चाहिए, you know. So they kept calling me, and then I finally spoke to a friend of mine who said no, Price Waterhouse एक बड़ा, you know, इनको मिल लो. So they came into my office, and my office was, by the way, in like the Sabzi market of Chembur, you know. So I've been born and brought up in Chembur. My office, everything is in Chembur. Even now we are in Chembur.
Even now you're there, yeah.
So this, for the first time, people came in full suits in our office, and I was in shorts and t-shirts. So it was a very funny meeting. And these guys told me कि we will get you venture capital. Venture capital किसने सुना था 1998-99 में? तो I said यार हमको कोई venture capital नहीं चाहिए. So finally they told me कि it's like taking a loan which you don't have to return. So now that makes sense. That is what they told me, because I had no idea what equity and what valuation. I absolutely had no idea. And that's when I spoke to my dad, and dad ने भी बोला यार कोई लोन है वापस नहीं करना तो ले लो ऐसा लोन, मतलब you know किसको नहीं चाहिए ऐसा लोन, because that was the only way of capital which people understood.
Yes.
At that point of time there was no, and that to bank से आपको लोन मिलता है, and सबको बोला गया था कभी लोन मत लेना. It was the one thing which I was told by my family, never take a loan. I said okay, I will not take a loan. But I said ये लोन तो अच्छा है जो वापस नहीं करना.
Yeah.
So then they came and then they said we will make a business plan. Of course I had no idea what a business plan is. They said कुछ नहीं, business plan मतलब मेरे से उन्होंने कुछ सवाल पूछे, बोला कि एक एक्सेल शीट बनाई. एक्सेल शीट ऐसी पहली बार मैंने देखी जो उसमें एक फर्स्ट स्लाइड था, उस पे क्लिक करो दूसरे पे जाता है, उसको क्लिक करो तीसरे. सो इट वाज लाइक दिस होल, एक नंबर चेंज करो तो सारी शीट्स पे नंबर चेंज हो जाते हैं. I said यार ये होता है बिजनेस प्लान. they said नहीं यही होता है, ये सब बहुत पसंद आता है इन्वेस्टर लोगों को. अच्छा चलो. And they took me to 2 or 3 investor meetings. Of course, I spoke about the future of gaming and all of that.
Yeah.
And investors were more excited looking at this so-called Excel sheet with all these numbers. Yeah. And within a matter of weeks, so the idea was to raise 2 crores at that time. Right. And that time 2 crores is equal to 20 Huge, crores now. Yeah. And but we ended up getting 3.5 crores. In a week, in 1 week, and we had 2 investors. First of all, jhagda bhi ho raha tha, more people wanted to come, etc. But literally, we were among the few companies who got the venture funding in 1999, literally.
Yeah.
And we were also lucky to be among the last, because just after that, 2000, the whole thing busted.
The bubble,
so the bubble busted. And that time, the whole thing was about eyeballs. कितने eyeballs लाओगे. अभी जो GMV और जो बोलते हैं उस time the whole deal was about eyeballs.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there are some people who are willing to give me money which I don't have to give back. You know, so it was a lot of money. I mean, I was 21 years old and I had 3.5 crores in the bank.
Yeah.
Without any plan, nothing. वो plan तो Price Waterhouse ने कुछ बनाया था. मुझे तो पता भी नहीं क्या plan.
So what is the first thing you did after raising that kind of money? Did it get to your head?
No, absolutely no. I mean, the actual stupidity which happened was partly what happened from our investors also, right? Because their whole point was, yaar, Vishal is only 21. We need a grey-haired CEO. So they were trying to get management from outside, and we did all the classic mistakes in .com era. So we actually burnt a lot of that money by doing useless things. But luckily, we got saved because at the core, we were developing games. And what happened is our big turning point came with Nokia's launch of their first phone, which was the connected phone with WAP. The 7110 ऐसे खुलता था phone, you know. So we were the first company which made games for those phones. So Nokia said कि games कौन बनाता है India में? We were the only game in town. And we started working with Nokia as early as 2012, 2013. And I had to convince my investors that mobile gaming is an opportunity.
And VAS was becoming big, right? Value-added services for telecom.
VAS तो बहुत बात आया था. मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ 2002-2003 की बात कर रहा हूँ, जब 16 रुपए per minute call था.
Oh my God.
And they had just introduced WAP before the mobile internet also. And the big challenge was to convince our investors that mobile gaming is going to be big. Nobody believed us. And you know, today mobile gaming is the biggest single segment in gaming.
Yeah.
So I think partly we always innovated and experimented, right? We always did new things. So it was fun. And like I said, all this time, I was just enjoying and having fun. मुझे तो वो ही नहीं था. It was like somebody paying you to do your hobbies, right? So
Yeah.
why would you not enjoy it?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then obviously you sold that piece, and now you're back in gaming again, right? With 4G, and it's doing amazing. And every time I know, I mean, we had this announcement of Goki partnership, and everybody's saying, when is the next 4G coming? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. So that's obviously going crazy, right? So how's this comeback been on gaming front?
No, so actually gaming, it's less gaming comeback. It's more around what has happened to the gaming industry in the last 6-7 years. So
Yeah.
India Games was truly the last company which did IP. So India Games, basically gaming is not about just creating a game. It's about creating IP. And if you see,
Yeah.
you know, whether it is Mario or whether it
Yes.
is all these characters,
Yeah.
you know, Tomb Raider, it's Angry Birds.
Yeah.
The whole thing was
Yeah.
about IP.
Yeah.
So we invested a lot in IP. And in fact, one of our investors who came in was UTV with Ronnie on our board.
Yeah.
The whole idea was that all the movies would be converted into games. So we created, in fact, we had done a game with Shah Rukh when he did the movie Ravan. And the joke was the game
Yeah.
did better than the movie.
Better than the movie, yes. I remember that. Yeah.
So we created that kind of content. And when India Games was sold to Disney, post that we thought that, you know, other companies will possibly start investing in IP. But हुआ क्या है last 6-7 years में, you know, India में, or maybe 7-8 years, that all the top games in India are either Chinese or American or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So
Yeah.
nobody created Indian IP. And the only one game, by the way, which is in the top is a game called Ludo King, which again was done by one of my ex-colleagues who was part of India Games. तो उसने Ludo King बना दी. और अगर आप top 50 games देखोगे इंडिया की, एक Ludo King है और बाकी सब Chinese and all these other games.
Yeah.
So, but then what happened in the world of gaming? What happened in the world of gaming is something very unfortunate, that millions and millions were invested into what so-called real money gaming.
Yeah.
Where, you know, of course, I have been very vocal about my views
Yeah,
on that.
you obviously don't have much heart for them. I can see from your tweets.
No, it's gambling, right? It's like saying that,
Yeah.
you know, the same difference we talk about porn and this, right? I mean, they are all video at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
when you are having the ability to put money and then take out by either losing that entire money or doubling it, it is gambling.
Yeah.
You know, you can now
Yeah.
keep asking and
So
keep giving nuances.
you're saying that's where we are crossing the line.
And what has happened is millions have been spent there. So suddenly there are these gaming
Yeah.
companies who don't make any games. आप मुझे एक आईपी बताओ जो गेमिंग आईपी इंडिया का आपको पता है. Except
Yeah.
Ludo King, there is not even one name. Because
Yeah.
all these other guys are not doing gaming. They are just doing gambling. So I saw that there is a huge gap in Indian IP. So just look at Netflix. Their entire
Yeah.
programming for India is Indian now.
Yeah,
All
you
the
have to.
shows
Yeah.
are Indian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazon Prime is spending
Yeah,
millions
absolutely.
on acquiring movies and
Yeah.
shows.
And now regional languages,
And
vernacular,
now
right?
they're going to regional languages.
Yes.
But गेमिंग में अभी भी लोग पबजी खेल रहे हैं और अभी भी वो फ्री फायर खेल रहे हैं, जो पता नहीं कोरिया या चाइना में गेम बनी थी उसको 2-3 कैरेक्टर बदल के यहाँ ले आए. I mean, it is shocking, right? It is like saying that
Yeah.
India may currently, if you say the top movie is Spider-Man or some Chinese
Yeah.
movie with Hindi subtitles is
Yeah.
right now the top movie, it can't happen. And the
Yeah.
reason was because people were never made, nobody invested in IP.
Yeah, the supply side issue. Yeah.
Not just supply side issue, I would say that the problem was that all these companies who came in, they have put so much money in other companies, ऐसे हमसे
Yeah.
compete ही मत करो. So it is also an issue where investors are saying, why do you want to compete? Real money games banao. So
Yeah.
even the dollars invested in this business are all going on that side.
Right.
Actually, there are people who can make games in India. It's not like they
Yeah.
are not. But they have
Yeah.
been told by investors कि यार दो game मत बनाओ, ये अब रम्मी 3 पत्ती यही सब करो.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that has been the problem. So I think 4G was literally the first attempt, and you can see how starved
Yeah.
our people are for Indian
Yeah.
content. Like,
Yes.
tell me something, a small town guy, you know, in a B or C city town, he can't relate to Free Fire game of some foreign character, right? But he
Yeah.
can completely relate to 4G. In fact, our last level
Yes.
is showing a market, a bazaar in Rajasthan. You know, there is a kulfi ki dukan, there is, you
Yeah.
know, the whole branding around it.
Yeah.
which is completely relatable because that is what,
Yeah.
and then they want our stories, you know.
Yes.
No
Yes.
Chinese game is going to show Indian soldiers being celebrated, right? We all know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you look at Indian movies and Indian shows, Indian Fauji is
Yeah.
what needs to be celebrated. So
Yeah.
I think we are just giving what we believe is right for the Indian audience in gaming, and
Yeah.
that is why you have seen the response it is.
Yeah, no, awesome. So Vishal, I mean, when I'm talking to you all the time, right, I get this very astute understanding of what India needs, right, and there's a small sliver of a sense of pride as well in that. And I remember when we were discussing Goki and your whole philosophy around health, right, and I remember vividly that we said that there's a part of India which is probably covered by Ayushman Bharat, and there's part of India which are like you and me who pay for our own health, and there's a whole middle India between those two pieces being sandwiched. And how do we get health to them, right? And that as a worldview is such an awesome worldview, because I mean, especially after what's going on with COVID, etc. I mean, one thing people have realized is no matter what money you have, which class you have, it's your own body, your own immunity which will get you past this. So let's talk a bit about Goki and the philosophy of Goki around health and get a little bit deeper there.
See, the problem in our healthcare system is that it is broken, it is fragmented, and it is running after the wrong incentives.
Yeah.
Now, government announces we've increased our healthcare budget, and people are celebrating. What has just happened is you are giving more money to pharmaceutical companies, more money to hospitals, more money to the people who are not incentivized to treat you or make you healthy. They are incentivized to sell you more medicine.
Yeah.
So there is a fundamental conflict of interest in the business model of healthcare, where their incentive is aligned not by outcome, their incentive is aligned to making sure you keep coming for sickness.
Yeah, they don't want you to exit. They don't want you to stay. Yeah.
It is not their mistake, right? Their shareholders are rewarding them कि तुमने कितनी medicine बेची, कितने operation किए, कितना OPD किया. If that is, and medicine को, मतलब their whole incentives are not aligned to the alignment of what it should be.
Yeah.
Similarly, in India or other countries, they say I want a GDP growth, which is a good metric. But when it comes to health, they say healthcare expense increase. That is not showing how you have improved health. It just shows how much you are spending more money on health. And by spending more money, you are not going to make people healthier. You are only going to have more people sicker because that money is now going to more doctors, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, agar aapko see, and again, my experience in gaming comes in there, right? That I first of all believe that health is not a problem of data or access. It is not like लोगों के पास डॉक्टर नहीं है या लोगों को पता नहीं है कि लोग ऐसे ही समोसे खा रहे हैं, तली हुई चीजें खा रहे हैं, सबको पता है. Everybody knows they should not be smoking. There's enough information. They should not be drinking. They should not be eating too much junk food. ये सबको पता है.
Yeah.
But people still do that behavior because they are not motivated. And then there are other people who are incentivized to feed your unhealthy behavior. And case in point, again, I'm a big fan of Zomato. I'm not saying they or Swiggy are bad, but their biggest category is selling biryani and pizza and all of this, right?
Yeah.
So they are incentivized to give you food which is high in oil and saturated fat and salt because that addicts you to keep ordering more and more, which is their incentive.
Yeah.
So what is happening is that the entire ecosystem around you is incentivized to keep you lazy and to keep you unhealthy. Because that's how the healthcare system will benefit. That's how all the junk food, delivery, even Netflix, for example, their official strategy is that people should not sleep because they should see Netflix. So ये सब लोग उस पे benefit कर रहे हैं. So who is saying that I benefit from people's good health? There is nobody, right? The only maybe exception is insurance company because they are paying all the bills, and government.
Yeah.
Because government is also finally with all these schemes paying the bill. And thirdly is you yourself.
Yeah.
So the idea for me with Goki was to make the consumer accountable for their health. You cannot blame कि यार I am not healthy because my company is not doing this or government कुछ नहीं कर रहा है मेरे लिए या this whole excuse that somebody else needs to come and make me healthy is the worst excuse people can give. And the second thing is incentives need to be aligned. Goki's entire revenue comes from making the consumer healthy. I don't have a single dollar which is not in alignment to the consumer's goal. So my incentive is aligned to making the consumer healthy. And similarly in advertising industry, right? पहले वो आपका model अलग होता था, where the incentives was different. But today the model...
on media. Earlier it was media expenditure. Today it's about business success.
Exactly. So that same thing जो advertising industry में हुआ, you were incentivized कि आप खर्चा और करो, ROI का मेरा problem नहीं है, मेरा revenue आ रहा है, आप खर्चा करो. Same thing is happening in healthcare today. Exactly the same thing. That nobody's incentives are aligned to how do you make somebody healthy. And my point is that the government should actually say that my incentive is India's average lifespan is 67, 68, among the lowest in the developing world, and with so much sickness. Japan is 84, 85. So why can't India say that I am not increasing my healthcare budget? My goal is I want to make Indians live for 85. At a very, very healthy level. And now everybody who can contribute to that metric of how do you make people live longer and healthier, and let's start measuring this. Now suddenly that creates a very different system, which is outcome performance marketing 101, right? I want a conversion of मेरा ये conversion है, मेरा expenditure is not my incentive.
You're not mapping reach or awareness, you're mapping conversion, you're mapping clicks in that sense. But Vishal, let's talk a bit more about it. I mean, my whole theory also has been that, India classically, we've had this one small minority which has always had the access, right? Whether to capital, to life, education, everything. And that has changed dramatically last one decade, right? Access has shifted to what we call the disadvantaged majority, and that's changing all the game. That's changing the game in content, sports, everywhere. You see that the erstwhile disadvantaged majority is now claiming the advantage. Even in health and with Goki, right, there is a role of bringing access, empowerment to that large audience, which otherwise doesn't have, right? Because
So interestingly, diabetes, which is 70, 80 million Indians are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, that number is going to hit 100 million very soon, and even higher. It's considered actually a rich man's disease. It is not the poor who are diabetic because they are still walking, they are still having, they can't afford the kind of rich food. So if you really see, in America, it's the opposite. Diabetics are people who are generally poorer because they are eating McDonald's burgers and they are largely sedentary, etc. But in India, if you see, all the chronic conditions are actually coming to the top 30% of the society. The lower percentage have a different problem. In fact, it's a very interesting phenomenon. There is an India which has a weight gain problem, and there is an India which has a weight loss problem. So a lot of people who are lower, their problem is I am not gaining weight. जबको हमको सबको लगता है कि weight loss is a big industry, इधर हमको पता चल रहा है कि if you the minute you go lower, weight gain is a problem. If you go lower, women don't have, their problem is about iron, all the others. So the issues of the lower strata are very different and the higher strata are very different. And if you really see what happened in COVID wave 2, the higher strata got impacted. If you see, it was the white collar. And the higher impact was because every second person is diabetic, every person is pre-hypertensive, every person has comorbidities. So ये जो unhealthy lifestyle था, actually India में ये opposite है. US में ये system अलग. In fact, US में the more well-to-do you are, the more organic you are eating, the more healthy investments you are doing. In India, it's completely the opposite. So it is not again, the poor people are having a different problem.
The problems are very, very different.
So udhar problem hai alcoholism, those kind of things, drugs, cigarettes, smoking. So the kind of disease they are getting prone to is much different than the people who are well-to-do. So actually, and that's what it is interesting, right? When you start analyzing it in this way, you can't have... So every person is different on their goal, and that was the whole idea of Goki. Goki's idea was कि मैं आपका data देखूंगा. We will see what is your baseline, whether your walk, your steps, your blood sugar, your LDL, your HDL, and just like a game, we will then gamify it for you to improve it. And
Yes.
given in the steps, you are going to be rewarded. You will get, cash discount, this,
Yeah.
that, insurance.
Yeah.
So the idea was to make it the game of life, where
Nice. Yeah.
you are the player and you are winning and you are rewarded
Yeah.
for improving your own health. So that
Yeah.
was the concept, and I think this is a universal concept. And in fact, Shri Krishna also says that in Bhagavad
Yes.
Gita, right? That the whole world is a game or a leela.
Yeah.
So right now the problem is that the world is a game, but you are playing it on the rules of people who are benefiting from your laziness
Yeah.
or your inaction or your inactivity. While it has to be the opposite. You need to become in charge of your game.
Yeah. And even the philosophy around health that we speak about with you, Vishal, right? I mean, unfortunately, the entire health system is very metric driven now, right? 5 kg loss, 10 kg loss. We've given KPIs and KRAs, right? And when you discuss health, you discuss it as a pursuit. You discuss it as a way to live better. And it is not just physical, it's not driven to a weight loss. It is overall well-being. So you're talking about mental well-being, you're talking about Gita and Sadhguru, and you're also talking about physical. So you're saying health as a way of life, and that's a dramatic change, right? Because otherwise everything is 10,000 rupees, 5 kilo weight reduction. That's where the whole industry is gone, right? So that's again very fascinating. Let's discuss a bit about that.
So I think that's the problem of short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. I think that's really what it is, right? So it's very easy to get somebody to pay you money if you say, मैं तुम्हारा 5 किलो weight loss कर दूंगा, या मैं तुम्हारा belly reduce कर दूंगा, या तुमको 6 pack ले आएंगे. These are the short to medium term goals at best, and very easy to get somebody in. But the reality is 99% people fail in this. And in a game, just to coming from a gaming philosophy, imagine a game where 99% people can't cross your level 1. Will people play your game ever?
No.
So the level 1 is supposed to be easier.
Yeah.
Level 2, level 3, level 4. So there's a very interesting framework. The framework has, think of the x-axis as experience and the y-axis as difficulty. And there is this whole thing called fun.
Yeah.
So if your experience is very high, let's say you are running marathons, but the difficulty is यार 100 मीटर चल लो, so you will say यार मैं बोर हो जाऊंगा. आप 2-3 तो it becomes boring. But if your experience and difficulty is at a level where you are getting slightly challenged, it becomes fun.
Yeah.
So there is a very interesting balance what we do in gaming to make something fun versus something boring. Boring and fun is just a matter of, let's take another example. You're less experienced and you have something very difficult. एक दिन आप करोगे, अगले दिन छोड़ दो.
Yeah.
The problem with weight loss is that it is like taking somebody who has 0 or 1 experience and you're giving them a task of experience level 10. They will fail and then they will say, ये बकवास है. ये चलता नहीं है, या this doesn't work. So if you look at the principles of gaming, it's all about leveling up, giving them a goal one at a time and taking them up the ladder and then taking them to what we call a boss level, where after some time you encounter one very big challenge and then you fulfill it and then you say, wow, now that dekho aapka evolution ho gaya hai. You have now become a better character and now let us go to the next goal. So I think if you think of it from this metric, you will realize that a lot of these things just does not work in that fashion.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love the fun curve, right? Experience and hardship level, so to say. It can be applied to so many things in life, right? I mean, almost everything in life. Vishal, this is going amazing. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk about startups overall and the ecosystem.
Season 3 of Echoes of India, your favorite history podcast, is back on the IVM Podcast Network. I'm your host, Anirudh Kanasetti. Join me on a journey through the wonders of early India as we explore the centuries between Buddha and Ashoka with critical research, empathy, and great storytelling. Along the way, you'll hear from all the vibrant peoples who shaped our world, from monks and farmers to warriors and emperors. New episodes are out every Monday.
Vishal, welcome back. It's been an amazing conversation. About 20, 30 minutes. We've covered so much, right? Around health, around gaming. I want to switch gears a bit and talk to you about the whole startup game which is going around Instas. And you are obviously, you started it much earlier. You're funneling it. You're part of it. You're mentoring a lot of them, right? First is I want to start from your own Goki experience. What have been the toughest times? Were there times you said, "Why did I even get into this? Let's screw this." So let's talk about tough times at Goki or high times at Goki when you said, "Okay, wow, amazing. Why did I even look at gaming?"
So, the best part about startups is that every day is a tough time. It is not. So I have said this commonly, like running a startup is like getting hit by lightning every day.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
and you have to
That sounds like my job as well.
yeah, and you have to assume that this is just another day in my life.
Yeah.
If I start getting hyper with things which are not going well, I will just not be able to do this because every day things don't go well. In fact, it is the opposite. That wo 365 days में से 364 days things don't go well and one day things go well. So you cannot be having that mindset. And one of the things which I have done, and I talk a lot about it, right? That the way you have to think about a startup is chaos. And I thrive in chaos. Chaos, बहुत लोग, especially the people who come from corporate environment and structured environment, right? Where everything is defined and planned and, this is the day one में ये होगा, day two में वो होगा, and then things don't go and then you are suddenly, completely taken aback. So in my entire case, I think it's about creating calm in chaos. So chaos is everywhere and you are calm. And that's why you don't get too excited about something big, or you also don't too get excited about something which has failed, because for you it is the same state.
It's a very Gita state of being.
You literally, I'm telling you, aisa hi hota hai. You cannot, because there are so many things which go wrong on a daily basis. There are so many variables which can go wrong, which are not in your control at all.
Yeah. And what's been the inflection point with Goki? What's the 2 or 3 points with Goki journey where you said that, wow, I can now step this up to the next level of purpose?
So I would say COVID has been the moment for us, which was, let's say, a demonetization for Paytm in a way, right? Because our entire philosophy of remote care, taking care of immunity, measuring, जो भी हम लोग बोल रहे थे, coach चाहिए आपको pharma, you want supplements, you want this. Every part of our ecosystem was used, and actually everybody is saying this should have been there before. And when we started, for example, we launched Goki Play, which was our remote exercising in 2017-18. लोग हंस रहे थे कि यार कौन ये लाइव वीडियो पे करेगा, अब पूरी दुनिया अभी लाइव वीडियो पे एक्सरसाइज कर रही है. The same concept when we said who's going to sit remotely and measure their heart rate and talk to somebody and take advice. We were doing that from day one. So COVID has actually given everybody the thing ki, man, Goki was already doing this. We were thinking of this much early. So COVID has been a big inflection point for us, actually, from our business perspective. So we are among the few businesses which has seen massive growth during these times.
Yeah.
While most other businesses had to either, scale down, shut down. I'm not saying in other, of course, businesses like Zomato and Swiggy have done fantastic. Digital payments have done fantastic. So I'm saying that businesses which relied on remote delivery of services and stuff like that have really performed, and we were among the few ones there. And that is what is now taking us to the next level, because I think consumers have now realized that if a virus have just come and, in a matter of days finish you, what if 4 more viruses will be coming in? This is not the end. Why are we assuming that COVID ke baad mein naya virus nahi aayega? It can come. And just the way when you are in a military, you invest in creating army, navy, air force, all this, right? Now, if your enemy is a virus, what do you invest in? Army, navy can't do anything. You need to invest in healthy citizens.
Yeah.
And how do you build healthy citizens? You build it by investing in preventive healthcare. Not in curative healthcare. In fact, it's the opposite. The more money you will give to curative healthcare, the more sick people will come.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you're saying the solution doesn't lie in opening more hospitals or more. I mean that too, but you're saying largely if you're not healthy, then how much intervention can you provide? And in fact, it's interesting because I was talking to Rishad Tebakowala. He does a lot of thinking in future, and something very interesting came out. He's saying there is no post-COVID. Right. I mean, in fact, the new world will be a mix of 2019 and 2021. I mean, there is no going away from what has already happened, and that's also, in that sense, interesting because hopefully people will be aware about their health and aware about what they really need to do to themselves, and this consciousness will not go away after 4 months dramatically.
It is, again, it's a very interesting philosophy from, again, I think Bhagavad Gita or somewhere, right? It says awareness is the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
For example, if you are having tea, you will just have your tea. But the minute you realize there is a fly in that tea, even though it's not like you'll get killed, but you cannot now have that chai because you have seen the fly. So that awareness is what changes the game. So right now in our life, we all had these flies in our teas, which was bad lifestyle, diabetes, hypertension. But सब लोग वो चाय पी रहे थे. But now COVID की वजह से सबको देखना पड़ गया. सबको पता चल गया कि भैया ये चाय नहीं है, ये तो पूरा सूप है. It's a soup of flies. And now your choice is to either continue drinking that soup or change your entire chai.
Yeah. Vishal, just pinning you a bit more on the whole startup piece, right? I mean, there's so much money going around, and I mean, there's one startup every day, right? And there's some stories, right? I mean, startups such as White Hat Junior, they exited in 2.5 years, right? What are 2 or 3 things you will tell young people who are listening to our podcast, excited about this whole game? I know you said one, love chaos. What are the 2 or 3 other things you'd say to do or not do?
So, first of all you can do is put your efforts. The output success, you have to remember that one White Hat Junior ke samne, there were 500 startups who were trying to do the same thing. So you are getting excited seeing the 1 exit or the 2 exits. But let's understand that today India has thousands of startups getting funded. So if you really look at the success ratio, it is not that big. Of course, while you're getting excited with those 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or 20 unicorns, you have to understand that there is a lot. The numerator is becoming very, very big.
The long tail is huge.
The long tail is huge of startups who don't make it.
Yeah.
I think the second thing is people need to realize that it takes a lot of work. People only look at the journey and they think, yahan bas yaar, ये विजय शेखर ने पेटीएम चालू कर दिया ऐप और overnight that became successful. They are not seeing the amount of struggle and all kinds of things everybody has to go through. Right? It is not as easy as it looks very good from the outside. From the inside, it is not as easy or as good. It is definitely very hard. It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
And lastly, I would say that given the startup scene in India, see, startups are also बोलते हैं ना कि ये सब seasonal होता है. There was a time when there was no funding available at all for Series B and Series C. मतलब सीड स्टेज बहुत इन्वेस्टर आ गए थे, तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने स्टार्टअप फंड कर दिए, पर उसके बाद कोई था ही नहीं. Suddenly now there are more people who are ready to fund you at higher amounts, but less people at lower amounts. So the problem is that even in the startup chain, the problem is India's ecosystem is not fully developed yet, where there are people in every stage to take you to the next level. So bottom line is बोलते हैं ना कि everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So that is the problem of startup, right? सबको चाहिए मेरा startup successful हो, पर किसी को मतलब ये नहीं करना है कि वो इसमें you have to die a million times before you become successful.
Yeah, but there is definitely light at the end of tunnel, much more today than there was earlier, right? I mean,
no, actually, I would say it is the same. There is no light, because the difference is that there are more people competing for that same customer. So पहले customer 10 थे. 10 कस्टमर थे और उस पे 2 लोग जा रहे थे. अभी 100 कस्टमर है पर 100 लोग उसी के पीछे भाग रहे हैं. So if you really see, effectively it is the same. The odds have not changed.
Not changed. They've become tougher.
In fact, it is tougher right now because cost of acquisition has gone through the roof. Early stage mein cost of acquisition was much lower. So cost of acquisition has gone through the roof. capital has become, very easily available to people.
Yeah.
So people can...
Talent is becoming expensive, right? I mean, engineering talent, programming talent suddenly becoming expensive in a market like India.
Yeah, I mean, Bhavesh from Ola had to tweet that he's going to hire people from Silicon Valley and not Bangalore.
Yeah.
Though, that's what I said, right? So the problem is that there is no perfect world.
Yeah.
There will be challenges at every point of time, but you have to, break through this chaos and move forward. And I think the one thing which I always tell people is that the reason people succeed in startups is because of the fundamental reason on why they are doing the startup. A lot of people are like, "Arey, मैंने एक industry report पढ़ी थी कि next 6 साल is going to be about artificial intelligence and robotics, तो मैं robotics startup कर रहा हूँ." ऐसे लोग बाद में बोलेंगे, अच्छा वो रिपोर्ट ने बाद में बोला कि रिपोर्ट गलत थी तो अब मैं गलत बिजनेस में आ गया.
Yeah.
So you cannot be doing a startup because of somebody else's conviction or some report or some article you read on some website. It has to come because of your own real need or your own passion to solve that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, even to your story of how you survived in India Games is because you're fundamentally innovating despite everything else. It dials back to that, really.
Because in India Games, we were told 100 times कि gaming बंद करो, animation बनाओ, e-learning करो. Because technically, if you look at my skill set, I could have done e-learning, I could have done animation. So investors were like, I said, no, हमको अगर करना है तो we are doing games or we are doing nothing else.
Yeah.
So we were very clear on what we wanted to do because we believed in it. We did not dilute our proposition at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Vishal, I wanted to ask you, you're an anti-archetype, right? And India is such a archetype country. And you said that at home, it was like 35% layout. And that kind of freed you in some way to explore what you really want to. And in some way, when I hear you say that, I feel that the pressure to get 95%, the pressure to get 99% is killing a lot of pursuit, a lot of creativity, a lot of ambitions, perhaps. And India continues to be an archetype country. Even now, see on LinkedIn, ex-Facebook, ex-Google. It's not that that's changing with the new way. We are still chasing one name on our resume, that 99% on the resume. How do we correct this? Wouldn't releasing some of this unleash a lot of creativity, a lot of freedom, a lot of better environment?
So I don't think so. It's about archetype necessarily, right? There are a lot of people who are ex-Stanford, ex-IIT who have been very successful also, right? And, there are a lot of people who have done corporate jobs. I know the White Hat Junior guy was ex-Discovery Channel or something, right? So I'm just saying that I don't think so. Of course, it can give you certain advantages. For example, in my case, because I never had any structured learning, I did not have to worry about कि ये Kotler का principle ये बोल रहा था तो आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो, right?
You didn't make those mistakes.
Because I never knew all of those things. Versus people who come from structured environments and who say कि नहीं ये तो नहीं हो सकता है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, ये चलेगा any type of things, right? So for example, one of the first employees we had hired in Goki, again I don't want to give any specific names, was a nutritionist from one of the top weight loss companies of India. And all this person came and told us is कि ये बकवास है, सबको weight loss चाहिए, कोई ये खरीदेगा ही नहीं, मैं तुमको बोल रहा हूँ, हमने बहुत सब कुछ बेच के देखा है. And we had to literally part ways with that person because every day that person was saying, based on my knowledge, what sells is weight loss, what you are doing is all bakwas, किसी को ये सब नहीं करे. And if we would have listened to that person seriously, we would have also started doing weight loss by now because they came from that thought process and more. And we see this every time, even in our organizations, right? We have people who come with their own biases, which is not wrong. I mean, they have learned that in that way. So I actually prefer people from different industries because they don't have a bias on what can happen here, right? Matlab, bias ki baat hi nahi. So I think the disadvantage a lot of corporate types have in startup world is they are biased towards what they have done in the past. So they
how things are done.
How things are done. So they actually have a handicap. It's not I don't think so. They can definitely overcome it. It's a handicap. I think fundamentally the startup thing was around the culture of our country, what we celebrated. It is not about just the people, right? What we celebrated. We celebrated, as who were our heroes. The only business heroes were Tata, Birla and Ambani, and we used to say Tata, Birla, Ambani to koi ban nahi sakta hai. I think as a society, we are now seeing new faces who are getting celebrated, who are not, the traditional rich families of India, with success like Oyo or Paytm or Ola and Zomato. I think and same thing in sports, right? मतलब हमारे अगर role models बदलेंगे, तो more people will be inspired to ape them. Previously, our role models were, there used to be article कि अरे some guy got a placement in some company and 1 crore. वो पेपर में आर्टिकल आता था, right? That so the role models were very different, and we used to have full page ads of people scoring top in exams and this and that.
UPSC toppers,
UPSC toppers. So the problem really is around who our role models really are. In the US, for example, the role models were always entrepreneurs who they became a lot of their role models. It was, I don't even know of a traditional US business family type name. The equivalent of a Tata Birla or somebody in the US, does not exist. People always talk about Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Bill Gates was completely self-made, right? Who was the one of the icons at that point of time, or Steve Jobs, for example. So, वहाँ के लोगों के लिए Steve Jobs was the icon who came from nowhere and built this. So I think India में वो change होगा, and that is what is going to get all these excitement from everywhere.
Yeah, interesting. Vishal, last question before I let you go of this very, very interesting conversation. I mean, you do so much, man. I mean, you're running Goki, you're mentoring people. You also run a podcast, your own podcast. What keeps you going? I mean, what's the secret sauce behind Vishal?
So I would say the secret sauce is connected to your own mortality. See, क्या हो गया, मैंने देखा है कि लोगों को लगता है कि यार मैं जैसी 50 साल का हो गया, अभी तो मेरा मीटर डाउन होने वाला है. So people get into this mold that now to I am going to retire, I have to start becoming advisor, I have to because it's all linked to what is your own ability in your own mind. And in India हमारे पास ये एक mindset आ गया है लोगों का कि जैसे आप old हो रहे हो, मतलब now to you are not going to be doing this, you are sunsetting. And my belief is that I am going to live over 100 years for sure. So right now, if you compare in that same, if you are 60, so I am right now in my 20s technically. So so for me, I am not even thinking of a retirement. I will do 5 more startups. Bottom line is that, right? Because if you are having a mindset that I am going to live 100, of course there is uncertainty and things could go wrong, but I'm just talking about the mindset. And हमारे यहाँ ये एक fundamental problem हो गया. आप ये सोचो कि वॉरेन बफेट 92 या 91 है, खुद गाड़ी चलाता है, बोर्ड मीटिंग्स अटेंड करता है, कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है. हाँ, हमारे यहाँ बताओ कोई 90 इयर्स बंदा जो इंडिया में है जो एक्टिव है. बिकॉज एज अ सोसाइटी वी आर सेइंग कि नहीं यार तुम 60 साल के ऊपर तो हो गए, तो मतलब तो अभी तो यू आर यू हैव टू उल्टी गिनती चालू कर दो. तो so that is what it is, right? So I don't see myself maybe when I am 95 is when I can start thinking about all those things. So I think it is the first part is that. The second part is what excites you. Like I said, I love chaos. So in fact, the minute a business becomes organized and large. So one of the things when Disney came in, Disney was a great for for a person who likes organization, structure. But I just could not work in Disney because, I was not about that. I was not about that structure, for example. So somebody like me would not survive in a structured environment. So I am always seeking chaos, and chaos is right now in creation. Chaos and creation are very closely connected, and that's why we say Big Bang also created the universe, as we put it, right? So I want to be in a chaotic environment, which is always with creation, something new.
Yeah, and that feeds you, right? That's your daily dose. Looks like it.
And that possibly makes me younger every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. So awesome chatting with you, Vishal. We take a break and we come back and you get to ask me questions. Hopefully you won't ask me too tough ones.
Great.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Naan Curry, Sadaf and Archit stir up a hot pot of stories exploring the age-old breakfast of Old Delhi Nihari. This is a must-check out from the #1 food podcast in India. We'd like to welcome Audiogan to the network. It's an old show about design. We want to kick off this season with Jay Datta, design-headed Make My Trip and Go Ivy Bo. He's also the founder of Design Up. Positively Unlimited gets a makeover. Check out the revamped show Say No to Drama with Chetna and learn how to avoid drama in your life. Home is where the heart is. Marathi Kirkitun helps us understand more about homes. On Smarter with Sid, Siddharth asks the pertinent question, is jealousy good for you? And on the Musafir Stories, get introduced to the headhunters of Nagaland. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any other show for that matter, please do tell a friend. Word of mouth is the best way to spread the word about a podcast you love. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Seat, Cred, Global Victoria, Bank of Baroda, Intuit India, and CoinSwitch Kuber.
So Dheeraj, now I also get to ask you some questions. You have grilled me for almost an hour, so let my chance to also return the favor. So by the way, in my podcast, we spend a lot of time with guests, so we'll hopefully get you there sometime soon. But before that, what is the one thing which makes you passionate about your work?
So, Vishal, I think the good thing about my business is that every day is a new day. Right, so you wake up and it's not all the good stuff, right? From outside looks like advertising, creativity, you do all the cool stuff. In fact, every morning I wake up to a crisis. So there'll be and when you run a service business, right, somewhere there will be deficiency in service. As I tell my people that if you're running a restaurant, right, somebody's omelette will be burnt that morning. So you have to wake up. So I embrace crisis, right? And this whole idea that every day is a new day, right? There's no template in my life that I did this 3 days back and I can use that template to solve today's problem. And that's what keeps me going.
And I think that really adds to, right, that you have to embrace the crisis. If you get worked up about crisis every day, then you will not be able to survive.
Yeah.
You will not be able to survive. Also, you also play multiple roles, right? Apart from being a CEO, you've also been writing. You are an author. So, ये सब छोड़ छाड़ के author ही क्यों नहीं बन जाते यार? Chetan Bhagat has been so successful doing it.
Yeah. See, most of my writing is actually around business and most of my writing is about things that I've done. Right. So for me, it's important to be able to do things. So I'm building Leo Burnett now. I've helped build so many brands in India, say Amazon, Spotify, PhonePe, and that's really my trip. So I create and then that is what I funnel in writing. So if I have to choose one over the other, I would always choose action than writing. So
actually writing is the byproduct of your action in a way.
Byproduct of my action. And so for example, if you say, here, take 3 months off and write, I can't write. I can only write when I'm at the busiest, when there's so much happening in my life, because I funnel that into my writing.
And do you prefer writing with pen and paper or do you type? How do you transcribe your thoughts?
So my structure of writing is always in my diary. So my diary is always with me. And when I used to fly, right, there's 1.5 hours, I used to actually just be writing so the structures of chapters or what I want to write, my thoughts always happen with pen and paper. Lammy's been a good company all the while on this. And then obviously I have to type it out or write full chapters happen on the word spread.
And tell me, given that you have done so many things, interacted with so many brands, because you not only get to live your own crisis, you also get to live other people's crisis also, right? So if you could switch jobs with someone, who would that be?
I don't know. That's a real tough. Maybe yours after listening to you for 45 minutes because you're doing. So what excites me, I don't have one, but what excites me is being able to do many things at one point in time, right? That's one of the reasons that I survived in advertising, right? Because every time I got a job offer on the client side to say, why don't you become a CMO of a finance company? I got shit scared that, oh my God, I have to think finance all the time. I can't do that. So any job which allows me to do 2-3 unrelated things in a day is my job.
So, the interesting part again, right, is that the philosophy says that actually things are happening on their own. You are just a medium. So actually you are doing nothing. ये खुद ही हो रहा है. आप खाली अपना एक छोटा सा रोल प्ले कर रहे हो पर सबको लग रहा है ये आप कर रहे हो. If you understand that, right? See, because the point is that we are all insignificant in this world, right? We are not even having any significance.
Yeah.
So उस हिसाब से we give ourselves too much importance, but the reality is, without you and me, Elon Musk would have still built Tesla, and still things have happened. And if not me, somebody else would have made people live 100 years.
No, that's an amazing thought. Absolutely. Fantastic.
And given all these things you do, like doing so many things, keep writing books on planes, what are your weird quirks?
I don't know. Things like, for example, I've had, co-passengers saying that, are you an architect? Why are you so much on Pinterest and Instagram? Because design fascinates me. Or somebody say, are you an author? So these are I get found out. I get found out doing things.
And now that there is no plane travel, I think your kids are all, ये क्या हो रहा है? हाँ?
Yeah, ये क्या हो रहा है? Suddenly ये 2 घंटे में क्या चलता रहता है?
And again, I'm sure you keep getting a lot of advice from everybody, right? Given that every brand you meet, every CEO you meet, and of course, all the books you read and write yourself. So what is the worst advice you ever got? Good advice to sabko pata hai, huh?
Yeah. So there was a point in time, Vishal, when I switched, so I was always been a chief strategy officer. But even as a chief strategy officer, I was less about Gyan. I was always about making things happen and so on and so forth. But when I was shifting to the P&L job, somebody told me, don't do it, you don't have thick skin. Right. And that actually became a challenge to me. I said, okay, let me then prove that I have thick skin and actually, run a company and run a P&L. And 4 years doing it, it's not that bad.
So the worst advice to you was that you can't do something.
Yeah, I can't do something. Yes.
So that's amazing. So you always take that as a challenge. And by the way, that has been my thing also. Whenever I'm working on an idea and people say it's a stupid idea, I understand that I'm on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when I get resistance, resistance from people or anybody, I like it because I that makes me feel that this is definitely the future.
Amazing. So I have one question to add also to all of this before we end. Where do you see the future of advertising? Because the whole market is turning to social media and this, and the whole consumer's role in marketing communication is becoming so much bigger. Pehle it was more one way.
Yeah.
आप message देते थे, consumer receive करता था. अभी ये पूरा बदल गया है. So what do you see the future of advertising?
See, one of the things, Vishal, we've been working very actively even at Leo Burnett is that, we believe that advertising today is embedded in the product, right? That's to my mind the biggest, most fundamental difference, right? 10 years back, clients would come to me and say, yaar, puff kar do iska. You can't do a puff today. Right? Puff happened in a certain time where you could fake it. Today you can't fake it, right? And therefore, for me, the proudest works are where we are able to embed an insight or an idea in the development of the product or the packaging. So say story boxes for Amazon or Bajaj V for Bajaj, where we actually built a bike out of the metal of Vikrant. Or what we are doing right now, we are building a product called Street Eye, which helps you spot potholes and navigate around it for Acco, which is an insurance brand. So that, to my mind, apart from everything else that all the trend gurus talk to us about, is that it has to be in the product, packaging, distribution. That's what advertising is today.
In fact, I like to tell my team the same thing. Now advertising is nothing. It's all about net promoter score. If your existing customers are not becoming your promoters, then you're dead.
Absolutely.
It is about making existing consumers of yours not only like you, but be so delighted that they are telling 20 people about your product and service.
Absolutely.
It has been a pleasure, man. Dheeraj, I've learned so much from you. I think it was quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for doing this, Vishal. All the best, and we keep meeting on a day-to-day basis as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the best, and thank you.
Thank you.
When I asked Vishal what did he do with the funding that he got for the first time, he said he spent it all on stupid things. Well, he still floated through it all and finally managed to sell to Walt Disney. Because as he says, they were still innovating and doing what they really knew best, which was making games. A learning that no matter what happens, you must never let go of your core. In fact, looking at Vishal, I figure that pioneering is perhaps the only way to succeed in the long run. That there may not always be actually a pioneer's curse. He started so many new concepts. He invented gamevertising when no one had a clue about it. These guys, they were making games for Nokia VAP phones at a time when internet even hadn't happened to mobile phones. He made a game for marketing the movie Ravan almost a decade ago, and as it turned out, the game was more popular than the movie. Similarly, when it came to health, they didn't settle for what would sell easily in the market, which is 10,000 rupees for 10 kg of weight loss. They are in fact pioneering an idea of health which puts the consumer in control. A holistic pursuit of health tailored for each individual. Vishal's advice to all entrepreneurs is don't be afraid of the crisis. Most of the time, things will go wrong. He says the secret of him staying on is his love for chaos. He says that he's able to do a lot because he's in touch with his own mortality. And as he says, I will live for 100 years and do 5 more startups. Well, cheers to that. So these were my learnings from today's conversation. What thoughts did it trigger in your mind? Do tag me on my Twitter handle Dheeraj_Sinha or leave your comments at speakeasywithdheerajsinha.com. If you like this podcast, you can explore other amazing podcasts on the IVM Podcast app and website. You can follow them on social media at IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for listening.
Don't you think that if everyone around you is getting smart, you better be smarter? Hey there, I'm the traveling professor Siddharth Deshmukh, and I'm back with season 2 of my podcast to make you smarter. Smarter with Sid. What's this season's focus about? Well, it's about 10-minute nuggets that will make you stand out at work. It's time to go from smart to smarter. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday and become smarter with Sid.
Do you like true crime stories? Do you like to learn about the people behind some horrible, awful crimes? More specifically, women that may have committed these crimes. Actually, Indian criminals that are women? Then we'd like to welcome you to our podcast, Misconduct. My name is Raghavi.
And I am Nisha. We cover themes like murder, dacoity, drug trafficking, financial fraud, kidnapping, and many more.
You can catch us every Wednesday on the IVM Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcast.